Roger, take care of the baby, will you? I want to take a picture of Kathy over by the tree. Come on, dear. Come on. Dr. Gruber!
Roger.
How was Vienna?
I just got back yesterday. I've been meaning to call you. What happened with that wealthy gentleman friend of yours?
The wedding was last July.
How did it work out?
Take a look.
Broadcast of Front Row Features Monday through Friday evenings on Vermonti TV is funded in part by Waitsfield Cable, providing quality television to the Mad River Valley, and by Phoenix International Life Sciences Incorporated, headquartered in Montreal, a multi-service contract research organization serving the pharmaceutical industry. By the Plainfield Bypass, a full-service internet access company in central and northeast Vermont, pleased to support the superior television programming of Vermonti TV, and by contributing members like you. Celebrating 30 years, this is Vermont ETV. Broadcast of Points North on Vermonti TV is brought to you in part by The Point, radio for the repetitively disinclined. Additional funding for this program is provided by contributing Vermont ETV members like you.
Tonight on Points North, it's off to Montreal to learn what goes into a world-class fireworks show. We'll look at a country music legend still in the making, and former Red Sox pitcher Bill Lee recalls his unique approach to our national pastime. Hi, and welcome to a brand new season of Points North. I'm Fran Stoddard.
And I'm Rob Mahalik. Since we left you last spring, we've been out and about Vermont searching out the people and lifestyles that make our corner of the world the special place that it is.
And a great place to get a cold and get
Lose
your voice
yeah.
a little weird.
Lost it.
In the weeks to come, we'll meet glass blowers, weightlifters, and archaeologists. We'll explore the living history of our Champlain Valley. In addition to our locally produced stories, we'll be sharing the work of other regional public TV series like New Hampshire's Crossroads and Maine's True North. We intend to make this the best season of Points North yet, and hope you'll do your part by joining us every week. And now, on with the show. Today, there are only 100 major fireworks companies in the world, and every year their top secret formulas explode high above the world's major cities. Montreal hosts one of the biggest firework festivals in a summer-long international celebration of the art of pyrotechnics. We attended this year's event and came away with a newfound respect for people who like playing with fireworks.
For many outdoor-minded Montrealers, summer entertainment means two things, the Jazz Fest and the Comedy Fest. But another festival is just as big and as popular, the Benson and Hedges International Fireworks Festival. Every year, some of the best pyrotechnic teams in the world come to La Ronde Amusement Park to show off their stuff. Today is America's turn. The U.S. is represented by the Rotzi family from Loveland, Ohio. Months have gone into the planning of their 30-minute extravaganza, but just hours from showtime, the Rotzi's game plan has taken a hit.
Extremely bad weather the last 2 or 3 days. See, today's Wednesday, Monday night. It rained 5 inches. It's the worst rain they've had here in 10 years, so they tell us, and we had serious problems.
Some things did get wet, and when they get too wet, you can't use them. So we had to remove some things and make some adjustments.
This means last-minute digging and hauling for the crew. Normally, the day of a fireworks show is one of the least stressful, a time to just fine-tune after days of hard work. Even so, there are close to 4,000 shells and miles of wire to check.
You spend about 100 hours on a show this size choreographing it with using the computer program, and maybe 2 weeks almost to lay it out and package it up so it gets up here in a certain order. And then we spend 5 days here setting the mortars, sanding the mortars, and then putting the fireworks in the tubes,
Preparing the site, and there's at least 25 men working on it for 5 days.
But all that rain could still force the cancellation of tonight's show. It's usually not this tense when the Rotsies put on a show, and by now they've dealt with every situation. Fireworks have been in the family since the 19th century. 4 generations of Rotsies have made a living at making things blow up. It all started more than 100 years ago in a small town in southern Italy. Paul Rotsi made fireworks to celebrate religious feast days. In 1895, Paul came to America with his son Arthur, hoping for better opportunities. He settled near Pittsburgh and quickly formed his own company with his son. In the 1920s, Arthur got married, had 2 sons, and eventually started his own company in Loveland, Ohio, which is where the company is still based today. One of Arthur's first jobs was to shoot for the Cincinnati Reds baseball team. Today, the reins of the company, called Rotsi's Famous Fireworks, are in the hands of 75-year-old Joseph Rotsi Sr.
Actually, we're proud of for doing it for 100 years. You know, it's kind of sort of rare nowadays to be doing something that long.
And by the way, these are Joseph Sr.'s grandsons and granddaughters, likely the next generation of fireworkers. Back at La Ronde, the show is still in jeopardy. But strangely, nobody appears to be panicking, least of all the latest member of the Rotsies, the computer.
We're about ready to test about 900, somewhere between 950 to 1,000 actual electrical circuits, and this particular equipment actually goes out over these thin wires, and it actually senses all the fireworks out there, and it lets us know whether or not a wire is broken or something's not hooked up.
Computerized testing is a huge time saver. In the old days, what Jamie just did used to take hours, but with the touch of a key, it just took 5 seconds. Every one of the 4,000 fireworks shells is connected to one of 27 circuit boards on the site.
We're really not doing any more with a computer than we did the old way. It just allows us to be so much more precise, and it cuts down a lot of the what I call mundane, slow work.
That single computer actually shoots the entire show. You'd expect that a show this big would require a computer as large as the one at NASA, but it's just a no-frills laptop. The only difference between the Rotsi's computer and yours is the specialized fireworks software.
What makes this whole thing work is there's a musical tape tonight that's going to be played, and the musical tape has a hidden electronic time code, and that time code will be given to us via wire and radio wave into these boxes here. And then the computer knows that at a certain time it is supposed to do certain things. So when the computer hears that it's 10 seconds, it knows it's supposed to shoot many different sites, many modules. It's like addresses on a mailbox. It reaches out and actually touches those circuits that it needs to shoot. Very precise, within 1/100th of a second.
We got 16.9 on 6, Kevin. 16.9. Okay. 6. So the squibs are right.
And in the upper ramp, we've got probably an hour's worth of work. At 6 o'clock, we have sound check. And if we're lucky, we get to take a shower before showtime. Out of 20 shows, I've taken 3 showers.
Well, there's so many different things going on here. People get confused when they start wiring it up. You know, cross wires, forget which one they're hooked into. So after everybody leaves, we have to go back and check the whole system out and make sure it's right.
Checking for broken wires is crucial. One snapped wire could shut off the entire system and stop the show cold.
This is the best part of the whole night. You do this to see it will happen. You want to see it work.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As always, the Rotzies have given their audience something to smile about tonight, and that's what it's all about.
Recently, country and western music stars have generated much of the same kind of hype that was previously reserved for their rock counterparts. These days, it's getting hard to tell a Garth Brooks concert from a Rolling Stones concert. But that certainly wasn't the case when a young country crooner from Maine was making a name for himself. Here, courtesy of our friends at Maine Public Broadcasting, is the story of Slim Clark.
He's been walking onto stages like this one for more than 60 years. From that first Grange Hall in Massachusetts, Raymond Clark knew he wanted to perform.
Well, the fox he ran till he came to the pen where the ducks and the geese were put therein.
Well, during the Depression, when they take me around the Grange Halls, they come pay 25 cents a piece, and I was making $25 a night sometimes. And that was enormous. White-collar workers were hardly making that. If they had a job $25 a week, they were doing well. I was doing a couple, 2, 3 nights a week. And then I said, well, as I improve and grow up a little bit, maybe I can make a living at this stuff.
And he has done just that. Ray Clark had always loved horses. After he began singing, an agent gave him the nickname Slim. So Slim Clark became that most unusual of stars, a cowboy singer from the wide-open spaces of New England.
It just proved you don't have to come from Texas to be a cowboy.
Goodbye to the steers and a long chaparral.
And in those days, country and western music required one other skill. It provided the rest of Slim Clark's nickname.
Yeah, when I first started cowboy singing, I had to do a little bit of a yodel. He didn't make it, you know. And so a lot of them could only do a very simple one, but it seemed to go with it. I don't know how it happened unless somebody from Switzerland came over and became a cowboy and he yodeled to the cattle or what. But you can't learn to yodel. You've got to be able to break your voice. if you can break your voice, then you can learn the different variations of yodels. But you can't learn to break your voice. You've got to have that particular type of voice.
The years may have dulled the yodel a bit, but it's still there. And the yodel is in good hands. In particular, those of Slim's daughter, Jewel Clark. Jewel and Slim's son, Wilf, all got together for a series of concerts to celebrate his induction into the Walkway of Stars at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville. It was a real highlight and honor for Slim, and for a musical career he thought the rest of the country had forgotten. There was a time when yodelin' Slim Clark was pretty close to the country big time. In the 40s and 50s, records and radio made him a star in New England, New York, and many other places.
I was up on the charts, you know. It was, like I say, New York was the place, not Nashville back then. It was New York. And I was one of the boys down there. You know, I was with the big names. And
you could have gone to the top rung.
I don't know, but I was up there dangling with them. You know, I was rubbing shoulders with them, elbows.
And as he was poised to step into the big spotlight, yodelin' Slim Clark walked away.
I didn't want to go do some of the things that they did. I wanted to go home and go hunting in the fall. I wanted to go fishing in the summer. And then I learned to play golf, and you know what that means.
Slim's wife, Kathy, isn't surprised he waved goodbye to New York and Nashville and Hollywood.
He could have kept on going if he wanted to go into movies. He'd had offers to do things like that, and he could have gone out to Hollywood, but it wasn't what he really wanted to do. It wasn't the sole thing. He has many other interests.
What he wanted was to move to Maine. Slim worked as an entertainer and disc jockey on local radio and TV. His RFD dinner bell show was a favorite for years. He still sang at Grange Halls and concerts and bluegrass festivals. And he painted.
And so I just did it. I didn't think you're supposed to do anything else, and I'm glad I did.
He teaches painting classes and keeps busy in the studio, but not too busy.
One year I did 100, but generally it's run around 60.
Slim Clark says life has been pretty good to him. People in his adopted hometown of St. Albans are so proud they put up a sign to tell the world. And now for Slim, the circle is pretty much complete, as Wilf and Jewel, and sometimes even Kathy, take their places on stage. The East Coast cowboy says it's all been great fun.
Through my paintings and my singing, I've made some people smile, and that's my philosophy on life. Every day of my life, if I can make one person smile or laugh, I'll make them happy. My day is made.
There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky, in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Thank you, Sid.
In a big league career that spanned the 60s, 70s, and 80s, pitcher Bill Lee played with some of the best Boston Red Sox baseball teams of all time. During his peak years, he pitched well in what is considered by many as one of the greatest World Series ever, the 1975 contest between the Boston Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. During his career, Lee developed a reputation as an individual, a Zen-like practitioner of being in the moment. It earned him the moniker of the Spaceman, which was galvanized by a famous Sports Illustrated cover shot of Lee pitching in a spacesuit. He's since landed in Vermont, where we caught up with this down-to-earth guy who lets his passion soar about life in general and baseball specifically. He's since landed in Vermont, where we caught up with this down-to-earth guy who lets his passion soar about life in general and baseball specifically.
So how do you bring this Zen-like, refreshing independence to Boston at a time where Boston is starting to get in its heyday of baseball, and it has its own attitude, and now comes Bill Lee with his independence? How do you integrate all that?
Very gingerly. I came, 67 they win, and they're on the top of the world, 101 shots and they win. 68, they go right back down to the cellar again. I sign into the organization, and my dad says, wow, Bill, you're with the Red Sox. He says, you're Irish, you're Catholic, you drink a lot. All you got to do is keep your mouth shut, and you'll go a long way in that organization. And I go, well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And so I come out of SC, wingtip shoes, 3-button suit, vest, everything. I can go right from USC to the Red Sox to the Shawmut Bank. You know, I could go that way. But it wasn't in my personality. I was always pulling for the underdog. And
every way. You've got all that wrapped up into this piece. And at $29.90, Italian gold. Can you imagine that, getting Italian crafted gold? We've already sold several just talking about it and leading up to it. I would love to hear from anybody out there owning the Singapore. I recommend you pick up really as many as you can. Not that you're going to have to actually wear them all yourself, but how about great gifts? Who would ever even imagine or believe you give them something like this that you paid under $30 for the gold chain? And getting one that's got width to it. Not one that's so thin that you think it's gold dental floss. This has got width to it. It is 1/8 of an inch wide. 1/8 of an inch wide right here for $29.90 is unheard of. It's a 2.9 gram piece. It's not some big heavyweight, and a Singapore is not supposed to be, but it is at $10 a gram for everybody dial in and pick up on today. And with the Singapore style and quality out there, more and more people I know are becoming attracted to it. It's got just a nice polish to it. There are no rough edges. It's been smoothed out completely the entire length of the chain, so you're really going to get a lot of excitement happening from every imaginable angle on this gold chain. I mean, every imaginable angle. You are not going to go wrong when it comes to this one. You absolutely will not when it comes to the enjoyment and the beauty of this particular piece. I mean, just think about what a gold chain like this is all about in the gold category. Excitement, sparkle, and shine, and then the twisting and turning of it just goes throughout the entire length. Absolutely. Under $30, folks, to own gold. Now, how many places do you know of that you can actually go and buy gold for under $30 like that? You can't. I mean, where costume jewelry? Yes. Plated gold? Yes. Electroplate? Yes. Even our Tectobon. Even our world-famous Tectobon. But here we have an actual solid gold chain in the 10K, which means even more durable than any other gold, so you want something that's got substance and strength. And we have it here for $10 a gram. Now, that is exciting. Absolutely. And the calls coming in reflect just that. Hi, you're on the show today. Who's this? Hello there. Oh, nobody there. They got their chain. They got their chain, and hopefully many gold chains right here for this fabulous discount price, because you will not beat the buy in this particular Singapore. I mean, how could you? How could you beat the buy in a gold diamond-cut Singapore neck chain? As fashionable as it is, as stylish as it is a statement of quality and a statement of beauty in a neck chain. You can get a basic chain for any kind of price, but this obviously goes well beyond your basic style of chain because of the way the diamond cutting and the beauty involved in that right there. It is a remarkable piece of gold that we have available. I can't believe it, 2 visits in one. It's John Ed McMahon in the building. Oh.
She loves Singapore.
Oh, Charlene. That does look like Charlene. Oh, very nice. Did you get her on the phone by any chance there, John? No. Maybe she'd call in. Now, if I always get this wrong, but can I try it? The Dazzle of Las Vegas The sparkle of New York City and the excitement of Hollywood all wrapped up into one. That's a paraphrase. But it does fall in, and the lines are coming in. Can I say this at a feverish pace? A veritable plethora of phone calls coming in for this one chain. Now look at that. Now, John, you can concur with this or not. I won't take it personally if you don't. Normally at this price for gold at $29.90, you would get a chain at least half the width, if not smaller. Most like a 16th, maybe close to a 32nd, like little dental floss of gold. It's very, very thin. They're nice pendant holders, but this is 1/8 of an inch wide, and it's only $10 a gram. Now, how do you go wrong right there? Extra flashy, extra fashionable. This is like the Charlene Lake special right here in this very own Singapore necklace. You have it right there. Absolutely. At 1-800-284-3400. And the lines are coming in at a very, very quick pace right here. And I see multiples going out quickly. I'm not surprised about that when it comes to Italian craftsmanship and beauty to it. And this is one that we just cannot keep in the inventory. I mean, how could we? With what this chain is all about and the popularity of it? Sure. $10 a gram. This is a great way, if you've admired our jewelry or you're new with us in any way, to just kind of step in, put your toe in and check it out. Well, this is a very good way to find out what our gold is all about at less than $30. Less than $30. Some are saying, well, that's kind of hard to believe. How can they afford to pay, charge only $29.90 for a chain like this? Well, you can wear it and find out. You've got our 30-day guarantee to really get a good look.